Hello, friends. It's me, and it's time for a story. A story from r/dating hell. Oh yes, we're going back into that one. We're gonna learn some stuff. This is from Reddit user Never Incel Again, which there's a lot to unpack with that name alone, isn't it? So, yeah. I've had a really bad week, and this has compounded it. Being, as one such a-hole XPF from years back would say, the cherry atop the
Oh no!
sundae. Oh boy. I wrote last month about this flaky guy I was seeing, who wasn't even really my type, but I mostly hung out with to be open-minded and give it a chance, and how he was a go-nowhere. By go-nowhere, figuratively in terms of it being a dead-end relationship, and literally too. We almost never went anywhere together, just hung out in my living room and talked. Let's call him Jim. Jim never had sex with me. Jim tried to string me along with vague non-answers when I asked him where he wanted us to end up dating-wise. Jim was vague about what he wanted dating-wise, all the while at the same time trying to order me not to talk to, let alone date or pursue, anyone else. Even though he wasn't giving me any exclusivity/commitment or even sex. Of the people who told me that he was wasting my time and that his non-answers were bull, thank you. I agreed, which is why I eventually didn't pay no mind to Jim's monogamy quote-unquote orders, and eventually I did what I wanted and went on some dates with other guys who seemed more my type, while keeping quiet on this to him. Eventually, I gave Jim what I had in my head as one last chance. On Christmas, late night, as a last-ditch effort on my part to end my sex drought, he failed the test, not seeming to care that he couldn't get it up, and acting all happy-go-lucky while I remained sexually frustrated. After that night, I vented on here a lot about why guys never seem interested in sex with me. I also decided not to see him again. I showed this by ghosting him after I had initially felt obligated to write a polite text back to his friendly text a day or two before when I last saw him. I don't normally ghost people, but this time, I gotta be honest, I just didn't care. I was annoyed, and so done with him and his limp pencil dick. He sent one text, "I guess you disappeared," frowny face, about a week or so after I stopped texting him, and that was it. Or so I thought. I'll admit I was in a really, really bad mood shortly after I received a spammy, impersonal-looking text from Jim this past week about signing up to purchase some business startup package MLM crap he's apparently been selling. Oh joy. I'd gotten into a really, really bad car accident. Oh my god, the worst of my entire life, in fact. The accident left my beloved car completely totaled and beyond repair. This car was the only thing of value I had left to my name. It wasn't my first car, but the first car I ever truly wanted, and the first car I owned that was almost new. 5 years old at the time of purchase. I mean, considering how expensive cars and everything is nowadays, I can totally understand why that would be devastating. And the first and only car I ever financed with a loan. This car was my baby. I wish that I had kids, but I don't yet, and I'm not allowed to have pets in my apartment, so please understand this car was the closest thing I had to a baby. I took care of it, I named it, I did everything I could to keep it going, even when it started needing more and more and more repairs in the last year or two, because I wasn't just going to abandon my baby. I have a 93 pickup truck that honestly, by any other car standards, I guess, wouldn't be worth the amount of effort that I've put into fixing it up, and I'm still going to put more into it, because it means a lot to me personally. So, I feel you on this. Maybe it didn't mean much to other people, just because it wasn't a luxury brand or anything. As people said, it's only a Chevy. But I love that car. I mean, it's your car. So, yeah, dude, of course it matters. It's something that matters to you. It was my favorite color, too. I'd searched high and low to find a gently used car in that color with a sport option package in my price range. Anyway, I'm still grieving the car. I'm bitter beyond relief that I lost the car, after seeming to strike out with so many other things in my life. On top of that, I had quite the harrowing experience dealing with the insurance company. The other woman involved in the accident, who was extremely rude to me at the scene, screaming, "Are you crazy?" from the start, even though she was the one who hit me, and worrying about the costs involved. On top of that, I still haven't ended my drought, nearly a full month after I ditched Jim for not putting out as he said he would. I've been meeting guys here and there, but nothing has worked out, particularly with this one guy I was talking to and hoping to progress things with. Instead, he told me that he wasn't interested in me, for sex or otherwise, and it's leaving me very bitter and burnt out, honestly. So, I'll admit, not exactly at a friendly state of mind when I was running through my text inbox and saw Jim's stupid-ass MLM text from earlier that week. When I saw it, I snapped. I texted in a snide tone, "Well, the whole reason I stopped talking to you is because of your flaws, your lack of sex, yet your attempt to control me by crankily telling me I couldn't talk to other guys when you wouldn't even give me a real answer about what you wanted dating-wise. I don't really need some kind of marketing gimmick." I admit, I was rude, but I was also mad. And again, it's also rude to make empty promises, to string someone along, and then have the nerve to send the MLM marketing schemes. Keep in mind, I had the week from hell with the whole car accident thing, and the new guy flat out rejecting me, and I thought we had hit it off. Well, what happened next proves that Jim really is kind of a jerk. He definitely showed his true colors. One thing that secretly annoyed me about him, which I can openly admit now, is that he always had this super chirpy, super cheery tone about him. Cheery to the point that he reminded me of Barney the dinosaur. Not cute, just annoying. I always felt weird about it, like maybe he wasn't being authentic or something. And now I know that the cheery act was, an act. He unleashed a barrage of insults that made my one text to him look mild in comparison. It gets really, really bad. And it has gone down for a few days now. It started Friday afternoon when I admit I texted him, and he responded with long texts. So long, a lot of them were sent to me in pieces instead of one continuous text. Oh, good lord. I didn't see these messages until I got out of work. He said stuff like, "Turd-offs, I could list a few about you. For one thing, you're a wannabe mom with no kids. All you ever think about is talking about his babies and kids." If you didn't want kids, why were you going out with somebody who did? I don't understand. He went on to also claim that he didn't see me frequently or had sex with me because, in his view, I don't have enough, quote, free time due to my job's overtime. Then he claimed, "We talked about this before." What? And what the fuck does my job's overtime have to do with him not keeping it up long enough to have sex on Christmas night? I replied with, "Of course the first thing you bring up is my lack of children and my desire to have them, picking on my weak spots, the very thing I said I dreaded you would do. You guys are the same, a-holes judging girls for actually wanting to procreate and then judging me to be some kind of broody harpy just because I don't have any kids." He started ridiculing the way I talk and my use of the word hey. He responded mockingly to this. "Of course, the first thing you always say to me is hey. Hey, you start off my sentences with hey. Hey, I don't like that. Hey, when you say hey, it makes me feel like I'm on some kind of farm. Hey, I'm not a horse. I'm a man. Hey." That is the weakest fucking... Oh my god. This is really petty. He also chided me somewhat by telling me that it was pointless for me to text him this long after he last saw me. That the last we saw each other was, quote, ancient history by now. I pointed out the MLM text, and he didn't even realize he sent it to me. How's that for irritating MLM spam marketing? When I sent a screenshot of the MLM text, he actually wrote, "So, at least I have a business platform." He is a business. He is a business platform. I'm sorry. I love it when people think that MLMs are actual businesses. Homie, no. Unlike you, who likes to whine and complain about things but doesn't show enough ambition, I have a few businesses. I own several properties. What do you have to show for your life? Wait, I thought he said I work too much overtime. Now he's saying I have no ambition? I'll admit the last line really stung because, lost the car, and the only thing of significant value that I owned. So I argued that he wasn't ambitious about taking me out on dates. He then replied, "How can you say that? Very ungrateful. I came to visit you all those times. I even took you out to a restaurant, which you enjoyed. What other guy would ever do that for you?" Really? That's definitely not all, though. Jim kept going, got worse, telling me that the whole time he was in fact having sex, just not with me. He started bragging about these two girls he's apparently been sleeping with, friends with benefits with. He then revealed that he had sex at least one of them not long before he came so late on Christmas night to see me. He even claimed her juice is still on my... Oh my god, dude. And even said, How you like that? How'd that taste? Tasting other girls whenever you went down on me. Ha, you did that. How'd it taste? Like, is this man fucking 12? Holy shit. This is unbelievable. He continued this all throughout yesterday. Eventually, I didn't argue back anymore, but the text didn't stop. It reminded me all too much of whenever that a-hole M from last year was hurling me nonstop with insult texts for hours at a time. I tried not responding. He still texted. At one point, when he texted me something silly, mocking my semi-vegetarianism by calling me a pretenditarian, bruh, for eating chicken but not beef or pork, I simply wrote back, awesome, and didn't engage further. Hours later, he wrote back, no, this is awesome, and sent all the links on the websites there. M had trashed me and posted unauthorized obscene pics of me. Wow. I couldn't believe it. I'm so angry and floored by this. Worse, he then rubbed it in further by texting, oh, it's so funny it hurts, and stuff along those lines, while telling me it's no wonder no guy wants to marry me or have children. How these links can prove I'm crazy. I'm fucking livid. I seriously want to punch his oval-shaped face right now. What can I do to get him to stop? And why does this shit keep happening? Why do dudes keep finding this stuff again and again and again? There's been other guys from old sites who posted these links, calling me out on stuff M maliciously posted about me over a year ago. I'm deeply ashamed and embarrassed about it, to the point that I've even looked into legally changing my name because of it. How do they keep finding this shit? Jim is another guy, like the Scottish former friend I wrote about, who I never even told my last name to. It's not like he could look me up on Google, but if he had my last name, I guess he could do that stuff. In the case of the other friend, he openly admitted that he happened to apparently meet M at one of the bars, a well-known casino in a neighboring state, and M was going around trashing me then and showing pictures of me, at which point my Scottish former friend recognized who M was talking about. You think Jim ran across this guy too? I mean, it's probably unlikely. Or do you think he found me by just searching for stuff about me in my town? He claimed to be looking at real estate in the area. Why the hell is this happening? What should I do to put him in his place? Wow. That is extra fucked. That is, like, holy shit, dude. Like, I'm kind of reading through some of the comments here, too. A lot of people are saying that OP should go after Jim for posting this, or, like, harassment and things like that. And, like, yeah, I agree. A lot of this could be handled from the legal system, but as OP pointed out, they're not exactly in the most financial stable place and can't really afford a lawyer and things like that, which is the other edge of this fucking sword. On one hand, this would be a good context to actually take care of this, but on the other hand, if you don't have the money, you kind of can't really do anything about it, which is really fucked up. Like, this whole situation is really fucked. I mean, this dude was basically just playing around and expected, I don't know. I really don't. I guess they were just hoping for, like, a third friend with benefits, even though OP very clearly made it, you know, right there that this is not what they were going for. OP, if you hear this, this is extra fucked, and I hope you're okay, dude. And I'm sorry about your car, man. Like, I know how that is. My truck was a gift from my grandmother. It belonged to my grandfather, and, you know, it ain't the greatest truck in the universe, but fuck, dude, I'm doing everything I can to keep it running because I really care about it. It's important to me, and that's the same thing I can understand about, you know, your car. It's important to you. It doesn't have to be $1 million Lamborghini or whatever. It matters to you, and that's, you know, important. Like, you don't have to, you know, explain the shit that matters to you to other people. They just need to understand that this is also a part of your life. As for this guy and his shit, like, that is extra fucked. And, you know, I really hope that you do eventually meet somebody good, and I hope that you do, you know, get to have, like, kids and everything that you want to. It really kind of amazes me that there are people, you know, there are all these dating sites where you can put whether or not you want kids, and there are still people, like, going into relationships, and I use that loosely because they're only there for one thing, with people who do want kids when they clearly do not, and are trying to, you know, just use them and shit like that. Like, that's fucked, bro. Like, you know what they want out of life, and you're just lying. Like, why don't you just look into people who are only looking for, you know, this whole no strings thing? Why do you have to harass people who are not into that? And Again, OP, if I can help you feel a little bit better, I realize that this dude sent you all these really angry texts and it's like really fucked up. Blocking him on everything, honestly, is the best advice. I've seen a lot of people say that. Yeah, but also, if it helps, I mean, he really thinks an MLM is going to get him money, and it's not. MLMs never fucking work. That just goes to show that despite the fact that you're working hard and sometimes things are not working out your way, you still are obviously undoubtedly much smarter than this guy, because you didn't fall for the fucking pyramid scheme, so you got that going for you. So, yeah. I want to read this comment that another Reddit user posted here, and they honestly broke this down in a really good way. I think this is really good. So, this person says, I'm going to break down the signs that I noticed as I've been used like this before, and I'm so sorry that you also had to go through this, dude. That's fucked up. He said you worked too much overtime and then turned it around and said you weren't ambitious. What he meant by that is you didn't have enough time for him when he decided that you deserved his attention again. Yep, pretty much. You said he was flaky. I'm going to assume that he would make plans with you and then close to the time he would cancel. Probably only really talk to you at night or ask to come hang out at odd hours. By the sounds of it, he would cancel with you because he got a better offer. The occasional cancellation of plans is okay, but have it consistently canceled is weird, especially if he doesn't have a demanding job. The "I wasn't done yet" comment. Another sign that you were only there for his amusement. Did he ever show you that he cared about how comfortable you were in a situation? Why were your needs not important? Staying in all the time. Shows that he doesn't want to be seen with you because you aren't important enough to be introduced to anyone he knows. How often would you pay for dinners and cook? Did he often do anything like offer to cook or pay for dinner? The ED could be with just you or all women. I'm not sure, but he didn't want what you were looking for from him. You were his backup for just in case he didn't have anything better to do. Using this comment to address the M stuff. The police probably won't help you for the revenge porn, and that sucks. Yeah, OP did mention they're in one of the states where that's not a thing, which is extra fucked. It should be a thing everywhere. Revenge porn is fucked up, dude. What you can probably do is see a lawyer who specializes in defamation/libel and sue him in court for it. The police won't take a statement, as it's probably counted as a civil matter. Please consult with lawyers to see if what he's doing is okay or not. It also seems like you're having a really tough time right now, and I think it would be beneficial to seek some professional help to work through things and help you set boundaries and deal with the emotions from the car wreck and the betrayal by M. I've been in therapy before, and it really does help when you find the right one for you. So, yeah, I also see that too. It sounds like this dude is basically just being a fuck around. Like, he was just doing shit because this is what was good for him. And as for the last thing about being in therapy, I advise that too. I mean, again, I'm just some guy on the internet reading stories and making comments, but that shit really can help, dude. It helps to talk to somebody. And there's places where you can get that kind of stuff, you know, for little cost or none. You just have to really, really look. But, yeah, it's a tough situation, and I would advise doing your best to talk to somebody, because that can really help. Having someone to confide in and having something like that, especially a mental health professional, someone who actually knows how they can help and do stuff, would be like a huge benefit. Not just for this situation, but for a lot of the things you went through. If that car meant as much to you as the way you described it, I can imagine that this took a huge toll on you. I mean, hell, when I first got my truck, it's, you know, one of those things that my family literally trusted me with, and I would have nightmares about fucking something up. So, yeah, man, talk to somebody. And I hope you're doing okay. It's really fucked up that all this shit happened to you, and I hope you get better. So, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I have a Ko-Fi and a merch store, and you can check those out. But if you can't, that's okay too. I have my own subreddit, r/Moonhorse Stories, where you can send me stories. I'll definitely check them out. I have my own Discord server, where me and all my strange friends hang out. And every Wednesday and Saturday there are streams. So you can come watch myself and my fantastic fiance play weird games and talk about internet cringe things. This is what we do with our lives. It's not much, but it's fun. I'll see you all in the next episode. We love you all so very much. Goodbye, everybody.